Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Gananaham Tva Ganapati Gum Havamahe Kavim Kavinamupamatravatamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anas Srinvan Utibhis Siddhasadanam Prano Devi Saraswati Vajebhir Vajinivati Dhinama Vitrayavatu Ganesaya Namaha Saraswatyai Namaha Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sumukascha Ekadantascha Kapilo Gajakarnakaha Lambodharascha Vikato Vignarajo Vinayakaha Dhumaketur Ganadhyakshaha Palachandro Gajananaha Vakratundaha Surpakarno Herambaha Skandapurvajaha Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Sasivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannapadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye Yasya Dviradavaktraadhyaha Parishadhyaha Parasatam Vignam Nignanti Satatam Vishvaksenam Tam Asraye Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheswaraha Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vamsa Rishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha. Sarvo Paplava Rahitaha Prajnana Ganaha Pratyagarto Brahmaivaham Asmi. Om Narayanam Padmabhavam Vasishtham Saktim Cha Tatputra Parasaram Cha Vyasam Sukam Gaudapadam Mahantam Govinda Yogindra Mathasya Tishyam Sri Sankaracharya Mathasya Padmapadam Cha Hastamalakam Cha Tishyam Tam Totakam Vartikakara Manyanas Madgurun Santata Manatosmi Shruti Smruti Purana Namalayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Isvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyoma Vadvyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. With Swami's grace and Sankara Bhagavad Padal's Ashirvadangal and Anugraham, let us continue where we left off yesterday. I think we were at Tvai Mai Chanyatraike Vishnu. We covered that. Satrau Mitre Putre Bandhau Makuru Yatnam Vigraha Sandhau Sarvasminnapi Pasyatmanam Sarvatrot Sruja Bheda Jnanam. We were there up to that point. Now going to slokam number 26. That begins with Kamam Krodham, Krodham. That is given by Bharati Vamsar. That he is the disciple of Acharya who has given us this teaching. Kamam Krodham Lobham Moham Tyaktva Atmanam Pasyati Soham Atmajnana Vihina Mudaha Te Pachyante Naraka Nigudhaha. Kamam Krodham Lobham Moham Tyaktvatmanam Pasyati Soham Atmajnana Vihina Mudaha Te Pachyante Naraka Nigudhaha. Kamam Krodham Lobham Moham Tyaktva Atmanam Pasyati Saha Aham Atmajnana Vihina Mudaha Te Pachyante Naraka Nigudhaha. Kamam is desire, we call it, and life is full of kamangal only desires of all sorts, because the whole creation has come about from Bhagavan's desire to create. The Mula Prakriti, as we saw, then it is given in Narayana Upanishad very nicely, the very first teaching from that mantra, very first mantra. So, because Bhagavan desired to create, Therefore, and why did he desire to create? That's another story. That's another very beautiful thing to understand. Why the creation, right? But he desired to create, and that's why the whole prapancham is full of kama swarupam. And in Sahasranamam we say kamaha, kamakrit, and say that kamaha, that is also Bhagavan's form only. But in our case, when we desire something, and what is desire? That is something to be. This is the most important. Arjuna asked Bhagavan Krishna, Swami, all of us want to be with you only. Nobody wants to be away from you. Everybody wants to embrace the lotus feet. Everybody wants to embrace you. Everybody wants peace. Everybody wants bliss only, right? And we all want to be with our Divine Mother, one with Him or in His company, and that is what we all want to do. All of us want to. That's a nature, complete nature. But how come we are not able to do it? What is it that is preventing us from doing that? And what is that? Then Bhagavan replies, Arjuna, there are two enemies that you got. Those are the things that preventing you. You got to overcome them. And what are those two enemies? The very first one is kamam. The other one is krodham. And kamam comes about. What is the origin of? So you need to understand, if you want to have victory, if you want to win over your enemy, then you need to understand about the enemy very well, right? The details. So we say, yes, I have desire, but what is this desire exactly? We have to think about it. That is also Bhagavan teaches us in the Bhagavad Gita. He says, all the five senses have been given to you to enjoy the prapancham, enjoy my creation. All around you, so many things that we enjoy. The eyes enjoy, ears enjoy, the nose enjoys the fragrance of a rose, right? Or a nice aroma of a well-cooked meal coming from the kitchen. It doesn't matter, whatever it is. The point is, the five senses, all this given for enjoyment. So you enjoy it. But the problem comes here. The moment you allow the sense to fall on its sense object. For example, the eye sees, let us say, now I have, I think, more women in this audience here. So let me give an example that would probably appeal to you all. You go through, let's say, Dubai airport, for example, and you see a gold shop there. Or you go to Tinahar in Madras, all this Tangamalhe and all that. The thing is, the eye sees it, right? But the moment I allow my eye to fall on an object and stay there a little bit longer than it should, then what happens? Then, oh my God, that necklace is so beautiful. And immediately I want to have it. Okay? Whereas if you don't allow your, or the same way, whatever you hear, we all hear so many things. If you allow my hearing to pay attention to what falls on my ear, little bit longer than I should, then I get attached to what I hear. The moment I get attached to it, then immediately I lose my balance. Then I want to acquire it. This is called the possessive desire, acquisitive desire. And this is the origin of desire. Desire has no shape. Kamam has no shape at all. No shape, no form, nothing. It is our association of longer than allowed duration on the corresponding sense objects. Okay? Now what happens the moment I get desire? Then obviously I want to have it. And as Paramacharya so beautifully explained, I learned this at my very young age in one of his discourses, Kanchi Paramacharya, he said the desire is like a ball that you throw on the wall. And what happens? It comes back to you, right? So, krodham is a result of kamam. How is it? A desire that is not fulfilled, an unfulfilled desire takes the shape of an anger. Now, I want my child to behave in a certain way. So, if it doesn't, what happens? My desire is not fulfilled, I become angry. The same thing with my boss at work. I have a desire to get additional money or something else, right? But the desire is not fulfilled, I cannot become angry at my boss. The repressed anger actually becomes bhayam, right? A fear, right? But the unfulfilled desire becomes anger. A fulfilled desire becomes greed. Please remember that. So, kamam is the root cause of everything else. If kamam is eliminated, there is no krodham, there is no lobham, there is nothing else. And so, greed is fulfilled desire, the result of fulfilled desire. Kamam is a result of unfulfilled desire. You analyze yourself. All of us become angry at some point or another, right? Think for a second. Even if not at that moment, later on, why did I become angry? Because I wanted a certain thing to happen in a certain way, my way. Whatever it could be. And it did not happen. That is why I became angry. So you will understand it. It's a simple algorithm. Okay? Very simple algorithm. If you pay attention to it, you will understand it. So, kamam, krodham, lobham. If you don't have to give up, tyaktva means, the next line says to give up. You don't have to give them up. If you just give up kamam, automatically krodham and lobham are already gone. Okay? How to give up kamam, that's one thing we'll talk about. Moham. Moham means delusion. Moham means ignorance, attachment. What am I attached to? What am I deluded with? And what am I deluded by? Maya is the word they use. It's a big word. But on a personal level, very simple. I think I am so and so. I am this body. I am this mind. I have this name. I have this height. I weigh so much. I'm a father. I'm a mother. I'm a child. I'm a brother. And I'm a CEO in a company. I'm a vice president here. Or I'm a worker. Doesn't matter. Or I'm a car driver. Whatever it is, we are thinking ourselves to be something that we really are not. That is tremendous, enchanting delusion. This association of each one of us with our body and mind and with our feelings, instead of associating us with the witness that witnesses our actions and our name and our feelings and our thoughts and everything else remains constant throughout, or associating us with our conscience that pricks us. Hey, don't do that. If you're about to tell a lie, it comes and says, don't do it. Okay? If you just associate ourselves with that instead of with the body and the mind that we're associating with, right? That is this false attachment, this false awareness, sense of awareness, and the false cloth that we are wearing. This is the moham, the delusion. So, tyaktva, giving all that up. Atmanam pasyati. Look at the indweller. Look at the witness. Look at this envelope of peace and bliss that is guiding you, that is pushing you and pulling you to seek peace and happiness. Because all of us, whatever we do, we think about it for a second, we are seeking only peace, we are seeking only bliss that comes from peace, shanti. That is what we are seeking. But we are looking for it in the wrong place. Right? That is why we are agitated. That's why we are not able to get it. Atmanam pasyati. Look for that. It is right there with you. Touch it. Embrace it. Look to it. Atmanam pasyati. Soham. Saha. Aham. All these. Saha. He. That Atma. That indweller. That Govinda. That is Aham. That is me only. I am not this body. I am not this mind. These are all things I am wearing. This is my body. This is my mind. But I am Govinda. I am Atma. This body is mine, but I am not this body. These are different. It's a paradigm shift, a slight important paradigm shift, the way we think. And the Soham is also explained in the previous sloka that the other Acharya taught us, right? It says, Satre Mitra, the other one, the one before that, where it says, Tvai Mayi Chanya Traiko Vishnu. Everywhere there is Vishnutvam, right? It is exactly that. You see yourself, your own self, the same Bhagavan who is seated in your heart. You see him or her, whichever way you worship him, in everything and everybody that you come across, including your own thoughts and feelings and your friends and relatives and enemies. It doesn't matter. You picture the same God seated in their heart. Automatically, you will smile, you will say Namaskaram. It will be so loving. That momentary experience will be so loving. So, Tasma Atmanam Pasyati Soham. Atmajnana Vihina Mudaha. We saw this earlier. Atmajnana Vihina. That Vihina means weak in, very diluted, very weak. So, Atmajnana, that means people who are ignorant of the experience of embracing the indweller, or they're so weak they're not even aware sometimes about the indweller, whoever it could be. These mudaha, these ignorant fools, what do? They, for these people, pachyante. It is not pasyante, it is pachyante. Pachyante means they actually are tremendous suffering. They suffer, they are tortured. They suffer quite a bit. They're very much suffering. That's what it indicates. Pachyante. What is it? What is the torturing here? Is naraka nigudaha. Nigudaha means hidden, not obvious. It is not exactly latent. Okay, it is not. It's not something like latent, but it is something that hidden, that's concealed. Okay, and what is concealed? Narakam, hell. They are tortured in concealed hell. That's what, put it in a crude translation. What does it mean? Our life, when we don't keep the company of our indweller, of our Atma, the constant companion that is with us all the time, and the most loving friend that we have, and the master and the guide, and the one who is taking care of us, and not only that, he cares for us, the most dependable entity. Now, if I don't keep the company of that entity, and if I look elsewhere else and moving about, what happens? I go through mental agitations, up and down, up and down. The moment I'm happy, next minute I'm sad. And the next couple of slokams, they're going to teach us, again, different acharyas, these various type of health that we experience. And we fear, we have some money today in the bank, will it be there? Will the stock market crumble? Will I have my job? So many fears are there. Insecurity, right? On everything that we touch, even though we may laugh out loud, but inside, worried, fear, uncertain, right? What is going to happen? All these feelings fundamentally are hellish. And hell is not somewhere else. Hell and heaven are in our mind only. It is not elsewhere. It is not outside. It is within us. So, naraka nigudaha, concealed, because we are all living, but we know it's a concealed, the hellish, torturous suffering that we go through because we don't keep the company of Bhagavan. Therefore, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. That is the very first step to have Atmanam Pasyati. The moment I look to Govinda, immediately Govinda looks to me. The moment I take one step towards Govinda, he takes 1,000 steps towards me. So he'll come and embrace. He's waiting, just like a mother is waiting for the child to run to her, just to look at her, not even run to her. Okay, so that is the meaning of this slokam. Kamam, Krodham, Lobham, Moham, Tyaktvatmanam Pasyati Soham, Atmajnana Vihina Mudaha, Te Pachyante Naraka Nigudaha, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamate. Next slokam is 27. 27 is given to us, taught to us by Sumati. And Geyam Gita Nama Sahasram, Deyam Sripati Rupam Ajasram, Neyam Sajjana Sange Chittam, Deyam Deenajanaya Cha Vittam. Geyam Gita Nama Sahasram, Deyam Sripati Rupam Ajasram, Neyam Sajjana Sange Chittam, Deyam Deenajanaya Cha Vittam. Sumati has taught us. It's a beautiful, beautiful conclusion of the 14 slokas and the teachings that were given by 14 disciples of Bhagavad Padar after Acharya composed the very first 12 songs, as we saw earlier, and the subsequent 14 songs were composed by each one by one of his disciples. And this last one is by Sumati. Geyam Gita Nama Sahasram Dhyeyam Sripati Rupam Ajasram Neyam Sajjana Sange Chittam Deyam Dinajanaya Cha Vittam. Geyam means be involved in singing, chanting. What do you chant? Gita, Bhagavad Gita. Then Nama Sahasram, the Sahasranamam. When you say Sahasranamam, as Paramacharya said, when you say Sahasranamam, it means only Vishnu Sahasranamam. For everything else, we have to put an adjective. Lalita Sahasranamam, Shiva Sahasranamam, Rama Sahasranamam. Like that, we have to give an adjective to it. But you say Sahasranamam, it means Vishnu Sahasranamam only. So, Sahasram, Nama Sahasram. So, chant Bhagavad Gita. Do you have to chant all the 700 verses? No. Just chant one slokam that appeals to you. Take that as your own. Because it is exactly the essence, the rasam, the teaching, the power of all the 700 slokas is there in every sloka. The message is the same. It is not different. And it is not like a stepwise journey from kindergarten to PhD level where you read different textbooks or different chapters. No, it is not like that. It is a lateral journey. You can enter through any Bhagavan's kingdom. You can enter through any slokam and even part of the slokam. The kingdom is waiting for you. And so you take any slokam that appeals to you, understand it very well, and chanting it. Chanting it does not mean only with your mouth. No. It should be in your mind. It's a mental chanting. Karmanyeva adhikaraste, ma paleshu kadachana. Like that, it must be going through in your mind. Okay? You understand the meaning of it with clarity. And then you start practicing it. The moment you start practicing it, that becomes true chanting in your life. So, Gita, Geyam. Then what is this Nama Sahasram Geyam? Yes, we get together periodically and chant Vishnu Sahasranamam. There are global Sahasranamam chanting, and all these are all going on. But that is not what it is. They are important. They serve a purpose. But that is not what it is. Yes, Bhagavan's name only Sahasranamam, only those limited to those 108 verses given to us by Bhishmacharya. No. Bhagavan's names are infinite. They are only part of it has been given. So, you take any one name and whenever you can, wherever you can, whenever you remember, even though Bhagavan is remembering us all the time, we don't remember him. Whenever you remember, immediately call out that name. Oh, Rama, Rama, Rameti. Oh, Krishna, Bhaja Govindam, Kesava, Madhava, whatever name appeals to you. Okay? Or the Sumukascha, Ekadantascha. If you want to, any name is okay. But that name you take and keep repeating it and get into a habit of doing it physically on a regular time every day. Automatically you're driving the car and you stop at a red light. Instead of getting impatient and opening your cell phone and texting message and all these things, you will say, okay, oh my God, Bhagavan has given me a time for myself to be with him. So wait for the red line and say, red light to turn green and say, Kesavaya Namaha, Narayana, whatever slokam you want to say. Beautiful time to be with Bhagavan. That is how you develop the chanting. That is what Geyam is. Geyam Gita Nama Sahasram Dhyeyam Sripati Rupam Ajasram. Ajasram means always, ceaselessly, continuously, without break. Dhyeyam means dhyanam, to think about. Meditate is a word we use in English. And unfortunately, that word has kind of lost its precise meaning. And Dhyeyam means dhyanam. Dhyanam means where it is not, there are different phases to it. One is there is a focused thinking. Okay, first you have to think. Then you have to keep thinking about it longer. That is focused thinking, right? Longer thinking. Then concentration. After that, the focused thinking leads you to concentration. And then after concentration comes meditation. Concentration, you are thinking about an object with single-minded attention. And that the next stage, you become one with the object. That is meditation. That is dhyana. So here he's talking about the process. So the Sripati Rupam Ajasram. Sripati is the Lord of Mahalakshmi. In this case, talking about Mahavishnu. Fine. And Rupam, his form, Ajasram. Continuously you think of him. Say Kesavaya Namaha, whatever you want to say, but correspondingly you must put the form. Whatever form, name you take, correspondingly you put the form. It does not have to be Mahavishnu lying down on Adisesha. Okay, it can be Sivalingam. You can picture Sivalingam and then give the corresponding name, or Sumukaya Namaha. Think of Pillayar there, whoever you want, but stick to that and Dhyayam and start the process. Neyam Sajjana Sange Chittam. Now, Chittam means here thought process, planning and thinking. We think so many things. I want to arrange a party. I want to call all my friends here and celebrate this, Mother's Day or whatever it is, right? I mean, something comes immediately, we arrange a party, we get together. And what do we talk about? Think. We all know what subject we talk about, right? It's the same subjects again. Have we become any better in that process? Think. Same types of food, good company, good laughter, whatever it is, movies, TVs, politics, whatever we talk, and then we say good night when we go home. So that is Neyam Chittam. That is what we do. We seek those type of companies. Instead of that, Neyam Chittam Sajjana Sange. Seek the company of the good and the godly and the people who have embarked. And embark means conducting themselves with discipline and determination, and going on the path towards the lotus feet. And when you enjoy that Sajjana Sangam, the sweetness of that company cannot be matched by any other company you get in this world. In fact, you will automatically give up, disassociate. They won't even matter to you anymore. It may be the most glamorous party. Okay, it doesn't matter. You don't feel part of it, because where your home is really in the company of the good and the godly, who revel and derive happiness and bliss and peace, and the subject they talk about from beginning to end is only about Bhagavan, and His glory and His stories, and that will take you to a different plane. That is Neyam. Neyam means you must seek. Okay, when we say Nyayam, it's come from Neyam. It's a mental disposition, mental aptitude, inclination of how you go about. Neyam Sajjana Sange Chittam. Deyam Dina Janaya Cha Vittam. Vittam means wealth. Cha, and that we know. Dina Janaya means people who are needy. Dina means here weak. Weak Janangal. What is weak in what sense? Are they weak in physically? Yes, could be. You're going on a street or you find an old elderly man wanting to cross the street, or a blind person wanting to cross the street. Give up whatever else you have to do. Give that person help to do whatever that will make that person achieve whatever he has set out to do. Or you find somebody hungry. These are all physical things. Somebody sick. Somebody shivering in cold, in winter. Give them your jacket. It doesn't matter. You can get another one. Things like that's the way we must think. That's the way that that thing must automatically flow. Or you find the Dhanam they call it charity in English. I mean, charity is a crude word, and we immediately think there is a giver and a taker. Charity means always, the way it has become commercialized now. These things have become commercialized, and they are not what Bhagavan wants. And it's a very simple thing. In Dhanam, there is no giver, there is no taker. There is no superior person who's in a higher plane and meeting out something else to somebody on a lower plane. No, there is nothing like that. In fact, the word, to make it very clear to us, the word that has been used in our scriptures is Daridra Narayanargal. They're also God, but they are Daridras. They don't have the same skills. They don't have the same wherewithal like you have. That's all. So, Dhanam is something that you share, not a give. Please understand that. Because the moment you give, your ego goes up, and the person who receives, his ego gets affected. No, that is not. That's imbalance. It must be sharing. the way a plant shares oxygen with us and we share carbon dioxide to the plant. It should be like that, a mutual parasparam sharing of God-given wealth for mutual happiness. The moment somebody becomes happy and comfortable, you become happy and comfortable. That is what deyam means. Deyam means it is sharing. Okay, sharing what you have with the people or with things that need it. Who are the needy? That's very important. And then there are 5 types of danangal that is described in how it should be performed in Taittiriya Upanishad. So I'll take a couple of more minutes and before we conclude the slokam. So let me finish that also. So you can jot it down if you're not aware of it already. Shraddhaya deyam. You must always do this danam with Shraddhai. Shraddhai, as Vivekananda said, there is no one English word that can translate it, capture it properly. So we must understand it only in Sanskrit. Shraddhai. So Shraddhai. We all use it colloquially in our young age. Our elders have used it to us. Shraddhai means several things. It means determination. It means enthusiasm. It means commitment. It means perseverance. Okay. It means with doing a job with full attentiveness, with full interest, like that, and applying your capability to the fullest. All these are included in the word Shraddhai. So Shraddhaya deyam. You must always do danam with proper attentiveness, enthusiasm, and with to the fullest of your ability. Shraddhai, with Shraddhai. Next command is Asraddhaya adeyam. You should never do danam or charity, as we say in English, with asraddhai, without, as we say in Tamil, yeno tano. We should not do that. Just because a beggar comes, immediately put something and go. No, you must respect him as God and give it to him. Asraddhaya adeyam, that's very bad. Then Sriya deyam. Do the danam, charity, the sharing with others to your ability. Okay, a person of modest means, should not be thinking of, donating $1 million kind of a thing. Whatever you can, it could be 1 cup of rice you give to somebody as opposed to 1 kilogram or 10 kilogram. That's okay. Whatever your ability is. Hriya deyam. Hriya deyam. Hriya is very important. With humility. Tremendous humility you must give. When you give charity, even if you give $5 or give contribute to whatever various associations, whatever it is, that you do, your mental attitude should be one of Hri. That means with humility. Extremely humble. Bhagavan, this is you. It's with me, so I'm in your name, I'm sharing this. That's the way you should be. You should have absolutely no sense of doership. Very important. Next one is Bhiya deyam. Bhiya deyam, when you give danam, do that with tremendous fear and trepidation. Why? Because if I do it the wrong way, my ego is going to be inflated, the other person's ego is going to be affected, so there's going to be imbalance, there's going to be hurt all around. The idea of doing danam is to reduce our ego, not to increase it, and also to make the other person genuinely happy, not be hurtful. So we have to be very, very careful. Bhiya deyam. Okay. The last one is Samvida deyam. The sharing, the danam must be done in such a way. Samvida. That means there is all around goodness, all around benefit. The same way plant gives oxygen to us and we give carbon dioxide to the plant. Everyone is happy. There is nothing in the natural equilibrium that is disturbed. Right? That should be samvida, without disturbing the natural equilibrium. It should be pure sharing. It should be. Those are the commandments given in Taittiriya Upanishad for deyam. So deyam, dina janaya cha vittam, the wealth that we have. What is wealth? Not only material wealth, but all types of wealth that we have. Could be vidyadanam, could be annadanam, could be whatever else that we have. All types of danangal that we do should follow this particular principle. So the final 4 commands, after going through what we should do and some of the dangers that we face and the urgency, etc., right, which we will review that at the end again, is the final thing what Sumati says is Geyam Gita Nama Sahasram Dhyayam Sripati Rupam Ajasram Neyam sajjana sange chittam, deyam dinajanaya cha vittam. Beautifully, recite namasmaranam. He says, understand what you should do from Gita. It is the essence of Upanishad. Namasmaranam. And in your mind, in addition to namasmaranam, picture that in your mind and love that form, that corresponding to the name. And then surround yourself. Seek the company of the good. Therefore, you can grow strong. We are all saplings. We don't want to be eaten away, right? So we need to grow very well. So we need to protect ourselves and conducive company, which is Sajjana Sangam. And then in that process also, don't be selfish. Expand your heart. Share things that Bhagavan has given to you with people who need them, not for the people who don't need. There's no point in having, for example, a marriage function and feeding people, thousands of people who are already very rich and who are well off. So much food is going wasted. You must think along those lines. Always share with people who are needy. That's a very important prescription. So with these 4 commandments, let us conclude today. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Arihi Om. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Arihi Om.